Hi.
We're not doing...
Did I clap sync?
I'm not clap syncing.
One day, I want to go to, like, Guild HQ or I don't know,
I do not know where you're going with this.
version 1 HQ and record a podcast live.
I'd like to do that. A live podcast would be sick. I remember we spoke about it when we were on like episode 6. We thought we could do one at Insomnia, and then we thought we'd have to take down lots of equipment. So fuck that.
Oh yeah, you're very blurry, by the way. Your camera is focused on the little bit of your mic arm that's got like the circle, the little silver dot in it. Oh.
Is that good? How's this one?
Not quite.
That will do.
That is it. Yeah, it's a nightmare, isn't it? There needs to be an autofocuser. They should invent that. Something that focuses automatically.
You're boring me. Let's start the episode.
Da da da. Ba, 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 ba.
I love doing intro bait. Right.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yes.
Hello everybody, welcome to episode number 50 of the Subpar Poddy C. Officially.
Wait, so unofficially, but is this episode 50? So the one that we
I think so.
knowingly have got no real plan for, haven't got a guest on, is remote, is about as unspecial as we could possibly theoretically get.
My name is Stumpy.
My name is Cole.
And this is episode 50, Cole,
yeah.
of the Subpar Poddy C. I reckon for episode 100, we get on every single guest we've had on so far on one episode.
That is so who would that be? Let's go through it. We would have Ignite, Scrub, Metsonoris, Johnny, Shogun, Rettles, Garrett.
Ignite, Johnny, Doomsy, Fruity Turbo, Speed Panda, Cronovi Rettles, CJ's going to throw a spanner in the works, logistics-wise. Rizzo,
well, Doomsy's in
Garrett
Japan
G,
as well, so he wouldn't be easy.
True. Sunless Khan, Lawler, Dazarin, Shogun, Gregan, Verge, Farah, Johnny again, and Metsonoris, and then finally Scrubkilla. We'd have all of them on one podcast.
I reckon it would be bloody Dazarin banging on about CRL again for 2 hours. Everyone would be like, yes, we get it, Dazarin. Yes, we get it, Dazarin. Yeah, we get it, Dazarin. We get it, Dazarin.
You get 5 down, Scrub. Fuck. This is episode 50 of the Subpar Poddy C, and once again, it is made very possible by our patrons over at patreon.com/subpar but in HD. If you would like to get a bespoke fuck off, which is, it's needed sometimes. Every now and then, you need to bespokely fuck somebody off. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, I think I would say, personally, it's pretty gosh darn vital. Then you are able to. It's $1 a month, and you are able to get a bespoke fuck off. Now, Carl.
Well, they've started putting that in the cost of Patreon. So our $1 a month tier now says $1.20 a month. Our $5 a month tier now says $6 a month.
Oh my God.
Our $10 a month tier now says $12 a month.
Mate, tell you who's gone in big, though.
Go on.
Mr. Vance P. Vance P is our latest patron. So thank you very much, Vance P. Appreciate you a lot. Cheers, pal.
Fuck off, Vance
that,
Prick, more like.
Yeah, that's fair. He is Vance Prick.
Pedo.
It's weird that is his last name. His name is Vance Prick Pedo.
This is double barrel. There's a little hyphen in between.
Yeah, it's nice. It's classy, don't get me wrong. Fuck you, Vance, you son of a bitch. So, yeah, if you want to get involved, go to our Patreon. Cheers, boys. Otherwise, we're here to chat all about the RLCS because, once again, another regional has concluded. And we were there, Cole, for the playoffs. We were invited back. Once again, we didn't embarrass ourselves last time we were on the mainstream. And the boys over at Sonic's HQ were like, we'll have more of that action.
This is the second time I've done a quarterfinals cast, having not casted the day before. It just so happens that literally the 2 days that I'd booked off, one of which was for my birthday party, and the other of which was because my grandma was having a do. The day after each of the... Oh, can you stop hating my grandma so much, please? She's a wonderful, majestic woman. And the day after each of those was the day where someone's like, hey, do you want to do the quarterfinals cast. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll figure out a way to get home and not drink too much and all that.
After you get absolutely slammed at Nana's 90th.
I was already wrecked at Nana's 100th. Absolutely obliterated when the call came in.
What a legend.
But I drank lots of water and ate some cucumber.
You were in a bit of a rush on the way out the door, and you drank all the water out of the one that she keeps her fake teeth in. Out of that cup.
That's true. And
then
thick. I pulled out some flowers from a nearby vase and glugged that down as well. Yeah, a vase.
Did you say vase?
I take evasive action.
And you tax evade. I'd say vase, definitely.
I would go with... I'd probably say... I don't know. Now you're asking me. I'm not entirely sure. It's one of those things where people say, oh, do you say bath or bath? And that's an obvious one because people do know.
I'd say bath because I've actually got an education, yeah.
A lot of those questions, people are like, what would I say? And you don't know until the word happens to pop up in a sentence, and then you find out the truth.
Like scone and scone?
I would definitely say scone.
Mine, I say both, and I don't know why.
See? And I'd probably say vase and vase.
If you say vase, then...
I did notice
You know
when we were in America, we were in America for 3 weeks, I think, in total.
So.
Towards the end of it, my T's were just starting to turn into D's. Like matter, just a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
I kept saying bucks when I got home, like saying,
really,
oh yeah, I was at the shop. I spent like $30. I still say it very, very rarely now. I like say things in bucks, and I hate it because you can't say it and not sound like a knob.
I bet your girlfriend absolutely hates that. If they're like, oh, how much did you spend at Lidl? Sorry, how much did you spend at Little? $40.
It's pronounced Alti. So yeah, we were over on the RLCS mainstream. It was fantastic. Another pre-show with the boys.
Yeah.
Shogun and Johnny. I absolutely love doing them because we've literally week 2 and we're already treating it like a bit of a piss around. Like Shogun is he's the man that is trying to keep us all under control, and it's already going wrong for him, bless him. But he tries.
On the show on the Friday before, the DDL, our literal actual TV show on Guild Esports TV, Sky Channel 433, every weekday at 6 p.m, we made little Play-Doh molds of each other, and Shogun asked us to show those in front of 30, 40,000 people, however many were watching. So we got to show off our little things. And I'm holding your one right now, and you know how your hair kept falling off before, and your lips? Now your eyes have gone.
So it's just a big orange blob.
With slightly skew with nose and a pair of lips.
It's in much better condition than yours is.
Really?
Do you want to see?
You're scraping me off your desk. You're literally scraping me. Mate!
Did
Enzo find
Play-Doh,
it?
turns out, doesn't like stay soft. It sort of hardens.
It does.
Coal is now just sort of a blue powder in my hands. I've just been crunching it up in my hands.
I'm very hurt by that. I want you to be perfect. Linnea, when she was playing with my niece and nephew once upon a time, made a Play-Doh rose. And to this day, like genuinely, I know you take the piss, but look how perfect this still is. Like, isn't that actually so good? That little Play-Doh rose.
The edges are a little bit sort of, they're more...
Just say it's good. Just say it's good, mate. It's good. It's just good.
They're sort of tessellated more than I would like. The inside of the rose as well, it's more of like a blob, and the inside of the rose is actually quite a beautiful thing. It's sort of got a very intricate pattern to it. And
it is so good.
Yeah, it looks like your niece and nephew made it.
You're such a dick. For no reason as well. No one's won because you've been mean there.
Can we get a screenshot of that so you can post it along with the tweet that we'll forget?
Yeah, I can only see you. Can you take the screenshot if I do that?
Okay, can you hold it back a little bit?
About there?
That's good. Perfect. Hang on. Move it. It's not focusing. Go closer and hold it still. Come on, camera, give it a focus. Move it over your head more. Don't move it loads.
I'm trying to get it to see it.
All right, move it back a little bit. Come on, camera, give it a focus.
I'm using my old
That'll
webcam.
do. That'll do.
You can see the beauty of it.
Yeah, you can see the sort of rough edges. It's nice.
And in our quarter-final game, we casted 2 of them, actually. So last time, we did the pre-show with Johnny and Shogun again. And then there was quarter-final number 1 casted, which I believe was by James Bot. And then after that, we did quarter-final number 2. Whereas this time, since then, the format overall has changed because... Actually, no, it's different. The format was the same because in the playoffs, it's cast back to desk, cast back to desk. It's the regular weeks that have changed format. So yeah, it was pre-show, straight to Stumpy and me to hype up and dive into Giants
Over in
Gaming
the
versus
Skybox.
FC Barca in the Skybox. And then after that, went to the desk and then back to you and me again, Stumpy,
What a
for
world.
Top Blokes versus Barrage Esports. And I think we were blessed with the series that we got to cast.
I don't think I'll ever get over Leaf saying, and over to Colin Stumpy in the Skybox.
Weird, isn't it?
I don't think I'll ever get over that. That is an absolutely
The only
wonderful
thing it
experience.
needs is because it seems like we're being involved in the EU playoff casts, which don't have a sponsor. So we don't get to hear Leaf say, over to Colin Stumpy in the BT Sports Skybox or the Cheetos
I want it to be a
Skybox.
worse sponsor like Dettol.
Dettol Skybox.
In the Alpro yogurt, get your protein, Skybox.
I think Yakult would be a decent sponsor.
Yakult, creamy, Skybox.
We'd be good bacteria, you and me.
I think I'd be a bad bacteria.
Would you?
I'd be a COVID of myself.
Where I would be at worst influenza, like your traditional flu.
Yeah. You chill. You do a lot of deaths per year, but
Yeah,
I come in and wrestle
consistently.
you out, and then they want a vaccine. Get rid of him, son of a bitch. That's powerful.
I have gone under the radar. No one even knows that I'm around anymore.
Exactly. So yeah, we ended up casting get involved with the Top Blokes Barrage, the Barrage bus. My God. So I got told off on Twitter by the lads over at Barrage because
For disrespecting Barrage, right? And you would never disrespect Barrage.
right, firstly, it is a much, much better name is Barrage. I prefer Barrage so much more than Barrage. Barrage is too nice sounding compared to the barrage that it should be. Because I was saying in our Discord that then one of the players was apparently in discord.gg/subparbitnhd, and I said that it is not fun to have Barrage in Stage 2. All they're going to do is lose.
Because they beat Oxygen.
Yeah, they then ended up... Yeah, I thought Oxygen would be more fun. They then ended up getting through Stage 2 and making it into the playoffs. And so I then thought, you know what, I'll make it up to the boys at Barrage and I will back them. The Barrage bus, choo-choo, tickets are free. And we got, quite frankly, absolutely clattered by Top Blokes. We had punctures, there was egg and cress everywhere, there were not enough lay-bys in the north of England to get us to Bognor.
I think what happened is that while you were on the way in the bus, the new lockdown started. And all the old people were like, oh shit, I shouldn't be going on holiday. And they refused. They made the bus stop and they walked back
Old
to
people wouldn't
Barry Island.
be that socially aware.
Maybe not. But it was a comfortable win for Top Blokes. But
Little
Barrage
bit.
had their moments, didn't they?
3-0,
Like, I know it was 3-0, and Barrage only scored once, but any other day, they would have scored at least twice. I guarantee you that. With Rise getting these touches, he is absolutely sick, by the way. He is like...
all of them are really sick. Like, fair
Yeah,
play
but
to them.
of the three of them, he's the one that stood out the most for me in that quarterfinals against Top Blokes, because it was whenever he took the ball down and took a touch and had a few seconds to himself, that's when Barrage looked most likely. And it is a shame. I had reverse sweep feelings. You know, I just knew that if they could just get that lead in the third game, this could really turn into a proper series, and it couldn't quite happen. But they really genuinely did do themselves absolutely proud. And
took it to
I'll be
Top
keeping an
Blokes
eye
too.
on them. Yeah, they did.
Like, one of the best teams in Europe right now. In the standings, they are second. Like, they got through to then the semi-finals and got beaten by Giants. And to get games that it was 2-0, 2-1, 1-0, all for Top Blokes. Fair play, Barrage. Like, I'm genuinely excited to watch them play again, because I'm happy to support the boys. They'll go through, see how well they do end up doing, and their social media stuff is also quite funny. So, you know, I'd recommend giving Barrage a little look. But yeah, Top Blokes, I was, at the end of the day, happy to see them go through, because I've been a big fan of Top Blokes, and they just came up against maybe the hottest looking Giants team that we've seen for a good, in the regionals at least, for ever really.
They're the most consistent team in EU, Giants Gaming. They are absolutely flawless. And I think that I like teams that have got a discernible play style. So that's why I immediately started liking Barrage when I started watching them properly. Because you got Cynical as the third man. and Rise and Oli just passing to each other over and over again and breaking through. And Giants Gaming, they're another team with a very discernible playstyle. Tox is like a ridiculously clean rotator. He is so happy to go back for the 100 boosts and like play the long rotation game.
Zamway in the middle, just flying side to side.
Is actually insane. I can't imagine playing Rocket League. If Zamway was on our stream, Stumpy, we would be sick of him. We'd be saying, get him out, bring in Lady Penelope instead.
Yeah.
Finn.
Maybe not that far.
Shitty Gregan. Like, he must be so frustrating to play with unless you know exactly what he's going to do. And it seems that Giants Gaming, they know exactly what each other are going to do. And just before we move on from the quarterfinals, how did you think that our casts, so speaking of you and me personally, how do you think they went compared to our Solary top blokes in Regional 1?
I thought our Solary top blokes was really good anyway. I was very happy with that. I know that you had small reservations about it, but I was very, very happy with that as just our first proper foray into all of the people that watch the A stream.
It wasn't 4-0, it's best of 5.
Don't edit this silence out. Don't you fucking dare edit this silence out. I want you to know that you've done wrong.
I'm going to find you laughing from somewhere later in the podcast.
Don't.
And chop that in and you're going to go, oh, Cole.
You're gonna deep fake my voice to say, oh, Cole. Oh, you don't need to now.
Oh, Cole. Yeah, cheers, man.
That's annoying. No, I was very happy. I thought they were fantastic games to watch and to cast. The Giants match as well versus FC Barcelona. They ended up winning. That was 3-1, and it just showed again the proper playstyle of Giants where they were swarming as often as they physically could. It was Zamway's rotations that I found to be the most interesting thing in the world because he would genuinely fly the most sideways I've ever seen any player do before. There are some other teams that like to do that to an extent and to cut other players out. BDS do it to an extent as well, where they'll cut across quite happily, but it all obviously works. Best team in Europe, of course, famously, and it's a very, very fun play style to watch because it's like the opponent cannot work their way out of their own back third. It's horrifying to come up against. But Barcelona got pretty trounced by them. Got a game, but got pretty trounced, and Giants ended up trouncing top blokes to make it to the final. But then, up on the upper side of the bracket, BDS beat Guild 3-2. But Guild were not without incident going through to the playoffs, were they, Carl?
We weren't going to mention this on this podcast because now we're slightly official. We don't... I'm sure you guys can all appreciate listening to this. There are things that we would have discussed back in the day that now there's no need for us to touch it because all we can do is get ourselves in trouble and it's not necessary. But Big Bad Papa Gibbs went in on Scrubkilla. And Stumpy, can you tell the story of what happened with Scrub? Because this was the day that I missed. I checked Facebook and it's all kicking off, like our chat. I checked Twitter and everyone's going, oh, what's going on? So I didn't see this unfurl in real time. So maybe you can talk us through it from a live perspective.
What happened was, now forgive me if I get the matchup wrong where it started. I believe, though, it started in round number 3 versus Liquid. So this is back in Stage 2, Regional 2, on the Saturday. So to make it through the playoffs, basically. Guild, at this point, had lost 3-0 to BDS, and then they'd also lost 3-0 to Solary. And then suddenly, they come up against Liquid, who are also in the same position. They lost to Train Hard, and then they lost to Vitality. So hard teams for both of them. Mm-hmm. Then, it was revealed exclusively by Scrubkilla that Guild weren't coming in the Liquid series. And then you have to think, oh, okay, so what, he tweeted it or something? Oh, we're not coming for this series. Gregor might have tweeted it or something. No. Lawler at the time was streaming. And so out of straight up nowhere, from what I know, Scrub rang Lawler on Discord mid-series versus Liquid that was being broadcast on the main stream, by the way, and started talking to Lawler and reacting to Lawler's chat. Also, like a 10-second delay because Scrub's in the match and Lawler's watching on the stream and then re-streaming it. And he was saying, "Oh my God, Lawler, look at this goal!
Yeah,
you're gonna be proud of me.
I
look
saw
at
that clip."
And then he's like giving the team like a joking team chat, like saying that was really good, guys. Obviously, he's not talking to his team; he's talking to Jarzo, I believe it was in there, and Lawler. And then he's also the thing that really really was awful. He was then reacting and replying to Lawler's Twitch chat, which he obviously then had open, and was saying, I'll get a musty flick for the year, Bob27, and whatever else. And then all of the pros piled into that chat, right, which was maybe my favourite bit. Like, you see Garrett G sitting in there just going, what the fuck is going on? And like replying and like talking in there, just like, Scrub, what are you doing? It is single-handedly maybe the stupidest decision I have ever seen any player make in competitive Rocket League. And it's an incredibly disappointing thing for any player to do, because it shows so much disrespect. It shows that it's not that they're not trying their best, it's that they're not putting themselves in the best competitive situation. Scrub didn't have to come, and nobody ever had to know that they weren't coming.
Yeah.
And Scrub decided to make it all about him. And I find that to be so disrespectful to Liquid as well as to his teammates, and ultimately to Gregan at the end of the day, who has been putting in a lot of work with that team. And to me, this is a gigantic slap in the face. And Gibbs made an amazing statement. Everybody, if you can, I tried to clip it and put it on Twitter. And I thought his statement was absolutely fantastic.
We don't need to have them go out and see, unless they want to see the whole thing. But what we can do is chuck in an interesting 15, 20-second chunk right now.
Now this one, there's no one to blame but Scrub. They didn't want to do comms. That's perfectly fine. No one needs to know that. He joins a streamer and talks to him during his match. That is completely unacceptable. Now everyone knows that there was, bad comms going on around this team, and that there's issues with this team that no one needed to know about. That is 3 different teams in the span of 9 months. Now what happens if Guild doesn't work out? Who's picking up Scrub at this point?
That was good. So Gibbs went in, he went big, and I fully agree with him. It was too long for Twitter, which really annoyed me, because it was such a good, section.
In his defense, there was an apology from Scrubkilla. Really happy with our performance from Liquid onwards. Best we have looked so far, IMO. I also want to apologise to Psyonix and Guild for my actions yesterday. While I do think the community reactions have been blown out of proportion, it's not a good look, and the warning is fair. So, actually, there was a...
I didn't see that tweet. Okay, good.
There was a warning from RL Esports, who said, a competitive warning has been administered to both Scrubkilla and Guild Esports for actions taken by Scrubkilla during the elimination match against Team Liquid. The result will stand, as Scrubkilla's actions were not made for a competitive advantage. Additional violations of the rules will lead directly to a disqualification. So I think that the warning is fair, and I think that people calling Scrub an idiot is also fair, and he needs to heed this lesson, as Gibbs so eloquently put, and all we can do is put this behind us as a community, I expect, and that's all the Guild guys can do, because they made the quarterfinals, they made top 8, so they'll be relatively happy with that. Are you in the same boat? Are you happy to say the warning's been put on? Let's move on. On
the day, I wanted more action to be taken, and that's also why I'm not at the trigger for this. But I wanted more action to be taken. I thought a warning wasn't enough. But on reflection, yeah, fair enough. The rules said that the rule was, excuse my wording, that you cannot talk to anybody who is not involved with the current matchup, essentially. So you can't talk to anybody outside of the admin team or on the... opponent's team, just on your side of the game, basically. That's all okay. Obviously, speaking to Lawler and Jarzo and a stream is not in that spirit, and it said that you may be disqualified.
Yeah, that's the key word.
Yeah, may. And ultimately, RL Esports, they've done what they think is right, and on reflection, I fully agree. I think a warning is good. It's not too hasty. It's not going to... It's not like Lawler was calling out the boost or anything like that, because
Even
that is
if
the
he
main
was,
thing.
It goes by the time it appears on the stream. Like, the good thing about Rocket League is that
but yeah,
can't happen in the same way it can in CSGO. If you can say, he's camping B, that would be
huge.
Exactly.
Yeah, we were talking about that in our Discord. People were like, if this happened in CSGO, then it should be a disqualification. 100% should be.
Big
but
time.
Rocket League is so quick that you basically can't get that advantage. So yeah, I'm happy with it in hindsight. I do think it was a good decision to warn, and I did not see Scrub's tweet, to be fair, afterwards, one that you read out. So fair play. That's a good tweet as well. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I'm glad he acknowledged it.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I think that's sort of all we can really say on the whole Scrubkilla thing. As ever, if you've got your opinions, make sure that you tweet at us at subparbitnhd, and we'll give it a little look-see, probably give it a little reply, from your heroes, no problem. And going through the bracket, Guild did end up losing to BDS. Fair play, though. Took him to 5. That's a good result.
Smashed in the 5th, though.
Yeah, they got dicked in the 5th. Yeah. And Vitality, they just managed to scrape a win versus Fadeaway, who almost secured the reverse sweep against them. And then on the pre-show, we were talking about the most dominant teams in Europe. And we were saying who is the best team in EU right now. And I think, Cole, you led the conversation because you started off by saying that you thought Vitality were the best team in Europe at the moment.
I think they are still the most consistent super team. This is obviously before the most recent playoffs. The question was, Shogun asked me as the host of the pre-show. He said to me, if BDS beat Vitality here, can we say they're the best team in Europe? And my answer was, all things considered, I'm not prepared to say that yet. Because while they did win EU Regional Event 1 at a canter, so often we see a team pop off on the day and then go down. For example, Peeps, they popped off on the NA Regional number 1. Equally, next time there's a regional, they might be going out before top 8. Do you know what I mean? We're not going to say they're a top 3 team because they were top 3 on that day. And but due to grid results, which we'll get to, I am not / was not. I still need to sort of think in my mind where I am there. I'm not prepared to say they are the best team in EU in general. I believe that BDS are the team with the highest ceiling at the moment, and they do seem to have an uncanny ability to reach that ceiling at the right time, i.e. in regional events. But I think their consistency in smaller events, i.e. the grid, is still lacking, which frustrates me because I'm ready for a team that you look down the Wikipedia page and it's gold, 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 silver, 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 gold, gold, gold. The way they beat Vitality and the way Vitality are clearly spooked against them, I wasn't expecting to happen again. So now I can accept that BDS are the best team in EU. But this grid thing, does it not just nibble at you a little bit? Is the thought not there that they, 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago in the grid, they've lost to Giants, Oxygen, Vitality, Solary? These teams they should be beating, right? As the far and away best team.
Yeah, I think they should be beating them. It doesn't nibble away at me whatsoever. I consider, and as do a lot of the pro teams, the grid is considered to be it's the side gig. It's where they're trying out different techniques, and different tactics and different styles. We've spoken to Eclipse over on the Endpoint stream, and they said, yeah, we're going to try out how we think we should be playing against Vitality or whoever it ends up being, or Top Blokes or something. So I don't think it is the most representative tournament because it is ultimately the side tournament. Same with Field. I consider it above Field, but I don't think it is a representative tournament. I would like it, don't get me wrong, if they were getting first, second, or whatever in grid. I think that'd be fantastic. But I think to compare them to the Peeps performance isn't giving BDS nearly enough justice, considering how unbelievably
not an exaggeration
dominant BDS have been so far in both regionals, and I'm fucking livid. They have been beaten once by Magnifico.
Hey, Magnifico are gods. You do not call them out, my friend.
Once in both regionals. They've got a 95% win rate in RLCSX. They are the best team in Europe right now, and I think they were going into this as well, and I think they have halted the Vitality dynasty. I think they've stopped Vitality earning their crown for this region. If Vitality literally won Regional 1, then I'd say that's their dynasty secured. Whatever they do now, they've already got their dynasty, that's it done. And BDS has stepped in. Vitality aren't even the best team in France.
Yeah, so again, I said all this before Regional 2, where there was every chance that BDS would have lost to Guild, and suddenly everyone's going, "Oh, BDS the best," when actually all they've done is won one Regional and played well on that day, and
They
done nothing
were playing
since.
very well before
They were
RLCS
playing well,
X as well.
yeah. They have been, and they have seemed like the dominant team, but equally, suddenly you lose one playoff game and people forget that. The fact that they did win, and they did win so dominantly, I think I'd be an idiot to say that they're not the best team in EU right now. But I do just want to see them Space Station gaming it.
I want to watch that matchup more than anything in my life. I would rather do that than watch the birth of my child. I need to watch Space Station versus BDS.
Watching children be born is gross.
Yeah, but this could be gross.
I'd rather watch an episode of Seinfeld than the birth of my child.
Oh, that's harsh. I would absolutely love to watch BDS versus Space Station because it would be one of the fastest series I think we could possibly have. In EU, not many teams can catch up to BDS when they have got their momentum and their conveyor belt style down to a T. They're basically Dignitas on methamphetamines. Like the old style Dignitas, not the new wave shit Dignitas.
I thought you were going to say the old style of methamphetamines. I was like, has there been a big update?
Yeah, in Meth 2.0, mate. I'm really, really excited to see what BDS do. I could see them winning all 3 regionals, which is an unbelievable achievement.
You know me. You know I'm rooting for that.
Yeah.
If they win all 3 and they get dicked in the first round of the grid each week, then I'll say fair play. Clearly, they do just mess about in the grid. But even that frustrates me. Do you know what I mean? I want to
it's frustrating, yeah. I'd rather they... I don't know if they are messing about, then yeah, that's frustrating.
No, I didn't mean that. That's exactly what I mean is testing, trying, learning, whatever.
I don't know. I think that's the perfect place for it. I think that's the competitive ground where you're then not trying it out in RLCS X, which is fine, and you're okay to do that. I think one of the biggest statements BDS have made so far is just knobbing Giants 4-0 in the finals. Like it was a 3-2, 3-2, both overtimes first 2 games. Then it was 4-1, 3-1.
You can see when they ran away with it.
I watched the first 2 games. Like, okay, this will be a long series. So I can head to bed afterwards. I'm going to do the dishes real quick, get done with that, come back in, and then I'll watch the last sort of like game 6 and 7. I got back in and it was over. It was on the desk, and I was like, "What the fuck happened?"
You went away from your screen during the finals.
Yeah,
you stupid boy.
No, because then I wanted to then watch the last, because I thought it was going to be a continuing overtime up until game 7. And it wasn't.
Decision.
They got dicked, and I was very upset.
I can't feel sorry for you there, mate. If you peel yourself away, unless you have to do some bloody dishes from a grand final, then you deserve everything. It's your fault that BDS played so well.
Yeah, you're welcome, because I made you look like a knobhead on Twitter, because you made a dumb tweet.
Yeah, so it's actually my fault that BDS played so well. So I, not to be outdone by Stumpy Goblin, I thought I can get in on this preemptively looking like an absolute knobhead on Twitter, because you've had a couple of hits recently, haven't you? With,
I've done well.
With Barrage and Endpoint sailing through the grid in week number 5, I think it was.
Yeah.
And my bad tweet was after going toe-to-toe, defending myself valiantly against Johnny Boy and Stumpy Goblin, 2 people who, between them, have got 100 times more Rocket League knowledge than I have.
Have I got the same and Johnny has 100?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Look at the results, look at the consistency. Vitality is still the team. They made it to the semi-finals against BDS, and the first 2 games were 3-0 Vitality in game 1, 2-0 Vitality in game 2. And there was me thinking, BDS have absolutely bottled this. This is what we wanted to see. They're not the best team in EU. It's Vitality, and they're proving it. Keeping this amazing team at arm's length. BDS can do nothing. And in that moment, actually, it was 1-1 in game 3, where I was like, you know what? I'm tweeting it. Vitality are definitely winning this. And I tweeted the following words. Good to see the number 1 team in EU playing so dominantly! ! At Stumpy Goblin, at Johnny Boy, smiley face. From that point forward, Vitality lost the overtime in 11 seconds. They didn't score another goal. Then they lost 3-0, 1-0 overtime, and 4-0. I literally cursed Renault Vitality with my tweet.
It was beautiful.
That the final game, the 6th one, on Wasteland. where Vitality had about 15 chances to
Oh,
equalise.
I did watch that one because I remember typing in Discord
so
at that
frustrating. I was like screaming because the first goal that they scored
so funny.
on Wasteland was a stupid boom from BDS's own back wall, which just trickled in.
I was
somehow.
marked by A. No, it didn't trickle in. He absolutely pelted it.
It boomed in. And then Vitality, they were just not shooting. They literally have a chance. They'd have the ball. The goal will be there. And they try and fake. And BDS would be like, okay, I'll block then. I was like, why haven't you shot K-Dop? Put it into the corner.
Honestly,
Madness.
everybody go back and watch that match because Vitality genuinely had 6 or 7 chances to score. And they tried to be clever. And BDS were just running rings. It was one of... I imagine being a Vitality supporter in that situation. And it was painful. It was so fucking funny. Just every chance they had. It went like... There was one phase of play where it went like... Post, crossbar, post.
Yeah.
And then BDS went on the counter and just scored.
Oh,
oh my God. I was laughing so much.
That is the power of the tweet, mate. Whenever you or I tweet something bold, you just know it's cursed somebody.
It was incredible. So go back and watch that match on Wasteland because it was fantastic. I loved it very much. But yeah, otherwise, BDS, they won. RLCS, X, EU, Regional 2. And then this weekend, we're going to be moving on to NA's Regional 2, wherein Space Station will probably win.
We can get on to NA, but before we do, let's do a little preview, keep ourselves in EU, and have a look at Grid Week 6, and that'll segue us neatly into the NA sort of larger conversation that's involved there. So they're not public.
Nope, they're not. That's why I didn't do it.
I see. Cool. I'll cut this up then. Sorted. Carry on.
So after Cole tried to derail us for talking about Grid Week 6 that doesn't exist. Thanks. Can't edit me, bitch.
I definitely can't.
Damn it. This is the point where we come back in because all my words have just been edited out. You cruel mistress. We are going to be looking over at Space Station in NA because chances are they just end up winning it. They're going to be doing their regional event number 2. We don't know all of the closed qualifier teams just yet. They are rolling in at the moment. We don't know any of them.
Yeah.
I back Space Station to be the BDS of NA. Like, they are just once again
you can't say
one
that.
of the most impressive teams that we've seen.
That's the wrong way around. BDS need to be the Space Station of EU. Space Station did it first. Space Station did it first, and they've won all the grids.
First and
BDS,
worst, yeah.
BDS are trying to reach Space Station Gaming's level, not the other way around.
Hard disagree. Space Station want to be BDS. They want to get to the level that BDS have found themselves at.
You win, they can win the second regional.
Yes. Space Station can win the second regional just like BDS have done because they're the best team in Europe, and Space Station are wanting to be the best team in NA.
Sure, but when you say Space Station can be the BDS of EU...
They can, yeah. What of NA, really?
Of NA, but they're already doing everything. They've already done literally everything they possibly could have done, whereas
Have they won
BDS
regional
haven't.
2?
No, that's because they haven't had the chance to do that yet.
So, yes, they're
they're
trying to be the BDS.
My point is that Space Station have won everybody thing in NA. No, they're BDS.
So Space Station.
They're so annoying. And you know
so, how many
point.
regionals have
One.
BDS
They've
won out of
won.
interest?
Oh, they've won 2, and Space Station have won 1.
How many Space Station?
How many
so Space Station are trying to be BDS
you're so
of
annoying.
NA.
I hate everything about you and your personality.
So Space Station are going to do their best to be the BDS of NA, which I back. Cole evidently doesn't back them to do, but I do back Space Station to be as dominant as BDS are in EU.
They're not dominant. They've just won the regionals. They've popped off
Both
at the right
of them,
time.
100%.
Yes, yeah, they've popped off at the right time. Which
Space
is
Station so
great
far
for
have
them.
also won 100%, but they could win 50. So, you know, maybe they get first rounded. We don't know. That's the beauty of Space.
That's not the beauty of NA, mate.
Cole,
NA,
you do realise that you are now cursing Space Station and they're going to lose to first graders, Omelette, and my mum's left knuckle, or whatever the fuck the teams are called.
If they do, if Space Station go 0-3 in the first round of Regional 2, and it's to someone called my mum's left knuckle. And that is the power of these podcasts.
Cole, if Space Station go 0-3, will you donate money to charity?
I would rather donate money to charity than change my Twitter name to #ILikeFirstGraders.
Well, I don't know. No, it's I like #firstgraders, for fuck's sake.
Sorry.
Which hopefully, we're hoping that first graders get through again.
I will, yeah, definitely. I will.
They were so close.
I know. I was watching that series petrified. They should have won it as well. The series that first graders lost, I think it was the 5th in the Swiss of week 1. They won the first 2 games comfortably, like really comfortably. Their opponent, I can't remember who, offered nothing. Game 3, they just couldn't score, and they got done on the counter on like 3 seconds left. Game 4, pretty much same again. And then game 5, they lost it like 6-0, and they just absolutely tilted off the planet and through. And I was watching it thinking, oh, thank God. I did not want to make my name that. And I got away with it. So we'll make some more bets for next time.
Yeah, maybe we do. Well, the annoying thing is we're doing this obviously beforehand, but maybe we can see who makes it through from stage 1 into stage 2, and then we can have a little look and see about the playoff teams for next week.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we can do that.
For a couple of bets. But yeah, NA is upcoming. Looking forward to that a lot. We're going to be over on the E-League stream, E-League TV, so make sure you give us a little old watch-a-roni. But otherwise, Carl, are you ready for... That's a weird place to listen from.
It is, actually. Yeah, you're right.
So, our place for this week, Cole, it is another European place. I will let you know, because what I do here, everybody, is I look back at these statistics for our last episodes. Our last episode was with Scrubkilla, and I look back and I see where is a weird place that somebody has listened from that episode. And Scrubkilla last week got it wrong. Cole last week, or 2 weeks ago, got it wrong. I outwitted both of the boys. And now we are looking at Full.
Okay.
The place is called Full. Aargau.
Aargau. Aargau. It sounds like Boromir's slightly disabled cousin or something.
Well, I can tell you, Cole, that it is a tiny municipality in the very north of Switzerland. Thank you. And Full has only 888 residents as of the end of 2018.
So is it a really small place? Does it live up to its name, or does it have loads of empty space?
Well, as far as I know, it is quite a small area. But the Wikipedia page did not allure to what the answer would be for that. And in this, the question is, Cole, I've got 3 facts laid out for you. Wink. But one of them is not true. How exciting. So 2 truths, 1 lie. Cole, you need to identify the lie. Are you ready to get your first ever win?
It won't be. I beat Metsonaris. But yes, let's do this, my friend.
Okay. So the first fact I'm going to tell you is that over 95% of the population of Full, they speak fluent German.
Okay, it's not the most interesting fact.
All right.
If I'm being honest, if I'm being brutally honest. Sorry, Full. I know that you take pride in the fact that 95% of your residents, 95% of your 888. So how many do? 95% of 888 is 843.6 of their residents speak fluent German.
Okay. The next one. In 2005, 1 in 5 people in Full worked in the production of raw materials.
Mining and that. Getting some copper ore.
It's mining, yeah. It's fisheries, it's logging, stuff like that.
Is fish a raw material?
If you cook it, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. But you said fisheries.
Yeah, fisheries, yeah.
As in fishing or something else?
Fishing, yeah.
So if I get fish, you could say that I'm getting raw materials, as in, is a fish a raw material?
Yeah,
I'm
I guess
not sure that's
so.
True. I don't think it is.
Okay, well there you go.
This has got to be one for Twitter or Reddit, right? Is a fish a raw material?
Well, don't Google it, please. Okay, so, and the final one, Carl, the Full coat of arms proudly displays a water pump. That's it.
Full is one of those names that's like speed in Rocket League, where you say, oh, Cooksit, he plays with such speed. Oh, I didn't mean the pun.
Yeah.
It's like an accident. So the full coat of arms, so not not a little zoom in.
The coat of arms of Full, Aargau, proudly displays a water pump. That's it.
So it's quite a wet place based on these, a wet German place. Is Switzerland wet and German?
Mate, that's up to you, innit, pal?
Bit fishy. Okay, 2 facts and 1 lie. Full only has 888 residents. That is a given. 95% of the population speaking fluent German. That's too boring. I'm going to say that's the truth, because if you've come up with that, like, you're not the winner. I'm not the winner. No one has won if the lie that you creatively came up with was that 95% of the population spoke fluent German. So I'm going to eliminate that one straight away as one of the truths.
Well, give me your other truth as well.
You want both at once, do you?
Because then it comes down to 50-50, and that's boring.
Fair enough. In 2005, 1 in 5 people worked in the production of raw materials. Okay.
So logging, mining,
fishing. The full coat of arms proudly displays a water pump. And that's it. That's too weird. I think last week I backed the really weird one, or the really coincidental one, of it being Arthur Dent or whatever his name is, your matey from Red Dead Redemption. I thought, oh, that's too big of a coincidence to not be true. Like, you'd know that I'd hone in on that as a lie. This time, I'm going to hone in on the most obvious lie as the lie. So I think that the two truths are 95% of the population speaking German, and in 2005, 1 in 5 people being fishermen or whatever, and the lie is that the full coat of arms proudly displays a water pump, and that's it.
Okay, I'll tell you one of the truths first.
You're grinning like a little bitch, pal. That's what I can see, so I've probably lost.
I'll tell you one of the truths first, mate. The first truth is over 95% of the population speaks fluent German.
Would you agree that if that was the lie, our listeners would be very disappointed?
A much more interesting one of that fact was 1% speak Portuguese.
How interesting.
Which I thought was odd. I was like,
yeah, what's the mix there? I wonder when the Portuguese came down to Switzerland.
Okay. The other truth is the full coat of arms proudly displays a water pump. There it is. Give that a look. Scroll down.
Oh, it's loading. Oh, it's like Norwich City colours.
And that's it. I wasn't lying when I said that's it.
Nah, that's a lie. You're a liar. There's grass at the bottom.
That's not grass. That's just a different colour.
Okay, well, there's a different colour at the bottom.
Okay, well, there's also yellow.
Yeah, there's also yellow. It's not just a water pump.
It's just a water pump.
There's also yellow and green and an outline.
No, because that's Billy Basics.
I'm claiming my draw here.
No, you're not, because I'm the game master. Fuck yourself.
How do we know that's a water pump and not a post box next to a giant cup of soup with a rudder?
Because the blazon of the municipal coat of arms is a water pump sable on a base ver. So I guess like green.
A base ver. All right, I'll let you have it.
Thank you.
So, how many people worked in the production of raw materials? Or did it not say anything about that?
Didn't say anything about that.
You made it up completely. Good man.
Yeah.
How many people do you reckon work in the production of raw materials?
No, I did look, though. And it is actually... because it says about... I hovered over a thing that said primary economic sector. And that's... and it like tells about employment stuff and whatever. And it says it's the extraction and production of raw materials such as farming, logging, fishing, and mining.
Ah,
so
okay.
Fishing is one.
Fish is a raw material.
Fishing is one. Thank you very much.
Oh well, I've lost again. GG's.
Yeah, GG's. There you go. So, GG. That was a weird place to listen from.
And that was, to be fair. And that brings us neatly to our final section of the podcast. And I would like to invite our audience to get involved in this as well, because I just want to chat about life stuff, what you've been up to, what I've been up to, and what you guys listening to this right now have been up to as well. Anything that's happened in your lives, anything that is particularly exciting, I want to hear about. Stumpy, how's your dog?
Yeah, I got a dog, haven't I?
He's
doing alright. He's got a fucking lump under his head. So he's developed himself a lump under his jaw, the knobhead, and we think it's an allergic reaction, and so we went to the emergency vet, right? On bank holiday, and they took him in and whatever. It took him a while to get inside the vet. So he's not like going anywhere without me and my girlfriend.
Oh,
and
bless
so
him.
He went in there. He's been a bit balky, bless him, and then they said, "You reckon it's an allergic reaction?" Because it literally swelled up to the size of a golf ball.
Oh my goodness.
So I was like over the course of a day.
Yeah.
Like, oh, good lord.
Was he struggling to breathe or anything?
No, he didn't
At least
really give a
that's
shit. It was quite sensitive, I think, so I was like poking it, and he wasn't a fan of that. And then, he went to the vets, blah, blah, blah. He then he got some antihistamines and a steroid shot, and it brought it down. And then it took about another week, and it sort of gradually was getting bigger. So then I went to our normal vets because it was no longer a Sunday or a bank holiday or anything. And I went there, and they literally prescribed him some Piriton.
What's that?
You know, just over-the-counter antihistamines for people.
Oh, okay, like for people who've got allergies
Just hay fever
to
and
pollen,
stuff.
hay fever and stuff, yeah.
It's literally just a hay fever tablet. So they prescribed that and then some steroid tablets as well. And so he's going through them at the moment. But it's the sort of liquid around it's gone down, but then the ball has stayed there. So it's going to keep rocking him out on our steroids. He's having a good time with them.
God.
But yeah, so he's bombing about. He loves it still. He's having a good time. He's made a few friends in the village. He's getting really good with other dogs now. He's like immediately, when we walk along and sees another dog, he'll just lay down in the path. He knows that's where the dogs walk. And so he'll lay in the path, wait for the dog to get near, and then he'll sort of jump up and go, "Rah!" and like sort of try and like play with them. And that's really fun. So no, he's getting a lot better, which is very lovely.
Ah, I love to hear that. I'm glad that is the case. And I really hope that his throat symptoms alleviate and he's feeling better. Yeah, so is it starting to go down yet at all?
I think it's gone down a little bit, but it's also got harder. It's weird. I think it's going through some metamorphosis at the moment, and then it's going to then go down. We've still got like another 5 days left on his tablets. So he's also, thankfully, a fucking idiot, right? Because with dogs normally you have to disguise tablets so as they won't eat them or whatever.
Yeah.
I just put them on top of his food and he just eats it.
Oh, well,
He just doesn't care. He's like, oh yeah, there's the tablet there. And like there was one that was on my finger because he missed it in the bowl, and I just held it out and he just licked it and ate it. And I was like, cheers, thank you, appreciate that. I didn't get peanut butter to try and trick him with ham or anything.
Is he a bit of a dopey boy in general?
He is. He's an idiot.
Oh, I can't wait to meet Enzo. How big is he now?
He's about the size of an adult Labrador.
Wow.
I'd say. So he's a big boy.
And he's a puppy.
Yeah, he's 8 months old. When he stands up, his paws go up to like my nipples.
God.
And I'm quite tall, so he's quite tall.
You've got very heightened nipples.
I do have tall nipples, yeah.
Yeah, they're basically on your shoulders as well. So not only are you tall, your
Double
nipples are very high.
They're on top of my shoulders. I wear them like shoulder pads. Big nips.
He's basically slow dancing with you with his
it's
paws
lovely.
on your nipples.
Oh, we dance. We have a little dance. Bless him.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm
How
glad that he's doing well. So I've got a couple of things to update you on. I'll let you choose which one I tell you about first. The first one is, it's obviously work in progress. I don't want to jinx anything, but we've had an offer on a house accepted. So that's thing one you could ask about. Oh,
gigantic pogs.
Don't react yet, mate.
Shit pogs.
Thing two is that I bought some science discs for my fridge.
Oh, I want to hear about the science discs.
Okay, so I've got a bit of a personality trait where...
Which is news to everyone.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm not just a blank robot of an empty statement man. I've got this personality trait where when I'm scrolling through Facebook, do you get like Facebook ads of like weird JML style products like inventions and such?
I do not browse Facebook literally ever, but I know but on Instagram you get a similar thing.
Okay, so the equivalent of Instagram, yeah, I don't use Instagram at all. So the equivalent of Facebook things, and I've bought a lot of them. One of the things I've bought is like a spiky mat which does acupuncture on your back. You lean on it, and that's been a huge success.
Acupuncture.
Very good. I basically bought a few things. And the most recent thing I've bought are these little discs. And they basically increase the amount of time that fruit and veg can survive in your fridge before going off. And why are you laughing?
How does that work?
The actual science?
Yeah.
When an apple, say, goes off, it releases phosphorones or whatever crazy gas it releases, right?
Okay.
And basically... those gases then accelerate the pace that the apple goes off. It spits it out, then it sucks it back up. And it's like, oh, more phosphoruns. Oh, I'll turn those into mold. And then more phosphoruns are released because it's phosphoroned itself again. And it's a vicious cycle. These science discs, okay, inside them is like potpourri or whatever. Okay, little circular white discs, right?
Yeah.
Like papery. And by papery potpourri, and inside them is the herbs or whatever that are in them. They suck up the gases before the apple gets a chance to. So then the apple releases its gas in the first wave, sure, but so it's not saying it never goes off, but
that would be a gigantic.
It would be a big claim. It would, and then the discs sort of suck that up, and the apple's like, oh, now I can live the slow life in my retirement, and it basically means that they last 10 times as long or whatever before going off.
Does that work with people? Do people give off gases and then go old?
What, you mean the people in your basement?
Yeah, can I just chuck some science discs at them?
I wonder if you can. I wonder if that there is one of these that slows down the decomposition of bodies, because that'd be useful in like the war or COVID.
Where the It's alright, you're like some hack on the streets, like with your science discs saying, they'll be useful in the war.
They will be useful
Put
in
them
the
with
war.
your dead mum in the basement and she'll stay fresh.
When the zombie apocalypse happens, you just chuck one of these science discs at them like a ninja star, and it will embed themselves in them and just undo all of the damage that's been done by the.
So you got these a
zombie
few
virus.
days ago, didn't you?
Yes.
Have they worked?
As far as I'm aware, because it's hard to see when something isn't happening. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they were speeding up the process of apples going off, and I put them in a
That'd be a
bowl
weird
of apples,
purchase.
then the next day the apples have gone off, I'd be like, oh, do you know what? Bloody hell, these do work. Those apples are already off, fair play. But detecting that something hasn't happened is much trickier. What I can say is, as of now, all of my fruits and veg are good enough to eat. But we didn't really do it scientifically. Like, we chucked them in the fridge and we chucked them in the fruit bowl when there was already some fruit and veg that were just starting to be a little bit, below their best. So hopefully it will catch them at that point and slow it down, and it doesn't need to be new fruit and veg that it works with. But I'm really excited for my purchase. I think this is going to be one of my best Facebook purchases.
I'm so intrigued about your weird things that you buy, because it's stuff that you see stuff on like Wish.
Yeah.
That I'm always so intrigued by, but I always think that's just going to be more tat at my house that I just don't need. One of them I saw recently was a hat that's the size of a blanket, right?
A hat?
It's like a sun hat, but then you can put it over yourself at the beach like a blanket.
Oh,
right?
get it, please. Be the guy with the hat.
It is gigantic. It's
Get
honestly
it.
about 1.5 meters in like width. It's huge. But I just get it, and I'd wear it once and think, well, that's shit, and I just put it in the loft.
No, you got to believe, because the best thing about Wish as well, compared to Facebook, is that this
Wish
stuff
is
takes like
so
6 months to
bad.
come. You'll order it, then it'll be there in like 2023, and suddenly you'll be like, I forgot I was going to be the sun hat relax guy, and then that becomes you, the sun hat relax guy.
So this is your new personality that you're trying out.
Yeah, I'm waiting at the moment for some, it's like a sponge for washing bowls and plates, but it's like silicone.
You get one of them at Wilco's, mate, if you want it. It's like £1 for about 9.
No, it's silicone though. It's like rubber, and it lasts for ages. So it lasts for like the whole year, and it's a rewashable one. So instead of purchasing multiple sponges to clean your dishes and it going off and it getting a bit smelly, then being like, oh, is this one still alright? It smells a little bit like piss, but maybe I can do a few more bowl washes with it.
It's just so obviously someone's bought too much silicone. And it's then just like, I need to get rid of this fucking silicone. Like, our warehouse is overflowing. And then somebody accidentally drops it on a plate, and they see that it doesn't break it. I could probably fucking wash it if we give it some water.
It does.
They cut some ridges into it and go, silicone plate washer, get rid. Barry, get on it. Get some marketing going.
I'm still waiting for that. I had to send an email, and apparently it can take up to
You
25.
chased it up.
Yeah, of course I did. That cost me like 10 quid with packaging.
10 quid.
Yeah, mate, I want the best.
Oh my
Listen,
God.
all right, we get sponges a dime a dozen. If this thing saves me money in the long run, then so be it. I love a great invention like that. There's ones for dogs as well. There's like dog baskets that are weighted or whatever, and there's like a flat round another disc that's got little bits
Your
of
fucking dick.
that's got little bits of cloth that sort of go up, like loads of them, like zillions of them, and then you put treats in the little bits of cloth, and the dog sort of sniffles around, and it feels it all on its face, which is nice.
A bit of
Eventually it finds
carpet.
a treat. Yeah, carpet with like tools, sort of. It's like dreadlocks coming out of it, and you put it among the dreadlocks of carpet. The carpety dreadlocks.
So it's then it's a slab of old carpet that someone's torn up from a warehouse and sellotaped some dreadlocks to, and then it gets all dog slobber and treats lodged
Well,
in
you're
it.
not going to be licking it, are you? It's only the dog. The dog won't
So
care
it's
about
going
its
to
own
lay there in my
slobber.
living room stinking because it's full of spit and treats.
You're always thinking of the negatives, pal. That's your problem.
Obviously. I honestly, I am so intrigued about every one of these purchases that you make, because I want to see how they actually end up turning out. Because I imagine most of them will be like, it did a job for a week.
Yeah, I mean, genuinely, the spiky mats.
Acupuncture.
the Bacupuncture has been incredible. I use that if I've got a bit of a bad back. I lie on it in bed. I can fall asleep on it. It's like a really warm feeling. I use it as my foot. So there's also like one that's meant to be. There's also one that's meant to be for your neck as well. So it's like a flat one for your back and then a rounded one for your neck. And I use that as my footrest. Look at this. This is my footrest. This spiky bastard.
That's like a fucking torture device.
It does look like a torture device, and they're very spiky, but it's just really comfortable. And also, like, I can put this. Obviously, this is where the podcast should be visual, but why not? I can put this behind my back, like that, so you can see it sort of up there, like that, and then lean back on it. And now, like the small of my back going all the way up is getting like an acupuncture thing going on.
Did the spikes spike you?
No, they turn your skin red, but it just feels warm. You know.
So does it promote blood flow?
I believe that's what it's doing, yeah. Well, it's whatever acupuncture does.
Because, I mean, my back is horrific, as I'm sure you can imagine.
This. Truly, I would recommend it.
What's it called? A spike mat?
Find the name for you. Does it say it on here?
Wow, I've literally just searched spike mat on Amazon, and I found it.
Back. Is it green?
30 quid?
Is it grey and green? Worth it. Genuinely worth it.
30 fucking quid for a bit of tarp and some bits of fucking green pasta looking shit.
I am telling you, I am promising you right now, if you get it and you don't like it, I will buy you a Steam game of your choice up to a value of 15 quid.
Train simulator with all of the DLC.
Up to a value of 15 quid.
So it's 30. Tell you what, mate, it's on Prime.
Do it.
I can put out my review.
Do it. You can review it next podcast.
Right. I'm clicking buy it now. I'm clicking buy it now. 30 quid. Yeah, I'll put it on the old CC on the credit card.
Send me the one. Let me make sure it's the right one.
Yeah,
it's
supported back.
Supported back, yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
I'm really excited.
All right, place your order. Right, mate, that has been... They are. I'll send you my... It's got my address on it, so don't tweet this out. But
okay.
There you go. There's my confirmation. I've purchased it.
Oh, there it is. I genuinely think it will save the day for you.
I'm so intrigued. Can I have that in the car? Because my back hurts a lot on car journeys.
Probably. Yeah, I don't see why not. There are people in the reviews that say they've had back problems for 40 years and this fixed it. Do you know what I mean? It's amazing. And there are people that say they sleep on it and they had insomnia before. And now when they're on this thing, they no longer have it. It truly can be a life changer, this. I'm always moaning at Linnea to use it because she always like, oh, it's so nice as soon as she's on it. And then she won't get round to using it without me doing that.
I'll give that a go. There you go then.
I wish you the best of luck.
I'll see how we do with that. Good recommendation. What have I bought recently on Amazon that I can recommend? Most of my stuff is fucking boring. Genuinely. I buy so much boring stuff. My most recent purchase that I got was a vacuum cleaner bag that's reusable.
Fuck me.
And it doesn't even fucking work. So that was £6.41 wasted. I bought 6 jars of Marmite.
Nice. Not bad.
So that was good. I bought a wireless car charger mount because my one fell off.
1 minute. Let's play Amazon ping pong. So you serve.
Okay. Reusable Hoover bag.
PDP wired fake Xbox One controller.
Ooh. 60 plastic free coffee pods.
A new Sony lens.
A 4-in-1 wet and dry vacuum cleaner and carpet washer.
A month's supply of Regain. Sorry, 3 months supply.
Fuck me.
What?
Why are we so boring?
That's not boring. Nintendo Switch. Ludo.
No, fuck me. Fuck me. Well, I mean, it's because I'm looking at my next 3. I bought some replacement parts for my vacuum, for my robot vacuum, some cheese flakes, and some popping corn.
Some corn for popping.
Some corn for popping, and that's just what it'll do.
I've got a soundbar on here. 190 quid. What a buy.
Oh, that's actually a recommendation. If anybody right now uses your TV speaker, you are insane. Because TV speaker, no matter how expensive and good you think it is terrible. It is tinny and bad.
Yes.
Spend 50 quid even on a soundbar, and it is 1,000 times better. I cannot recommend it enough. I'm using one that I bought 6 years ago for 100 quid. It's a Samsung one, and it's fantastic. Would fully recommend a soundbar.
My fucking stepdad, when I went there recently, I was speaking to him, and basically at Christmases, I like to get them tech stuff, the sort of thing that they never buy for themselves. But as soon as they have it, they're like, oh, how do I live without this? And they now have a massive telly, because the first telly that I bought for this house was refurbished. It was 55-inch, which was just a little bit too big. So we downgraded to a 50-inch because it was refurbished, and doing a replacement was a nightmare. I was just like, hey, Mum and stepdad, do you want this? And they were like, oh, it's a bit big, but we'll give it a go. And now they'll never go back because the TV actually fits in that room perfectly. It's a massive lounge they've got in that cottage. And I was saying to my stepdad, Tim, I've already figured out what I'm getting you guys for Christmas. And he went, is it a soundbar? I'm like, no. No, of course it's not. And I don't know how he figured it out. I said to him,
has he already got a soundbar now then?
No. I said to him, what made you think that? And he said, well, it's the only piece of tech you haven't got us. He's not Northern, but he is now. He said, it's the only piece of tech you haven't got us. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I'm getting you a new cooking hood.
Well, you should maybe say that, make sure they don't buy one.
No,
because they might be buying one.
They will not between now and Christmas. They'll be
Big
too
J
busy.
and Tim might invest.
They'll be too busy fixing up their fucking house. They removed the ceiling, in their bedroom. Basically, there was like a fake. This is like a grade 1 listed house. This is the ceiling, not the roof. The roof is still above it.
Okay.
So it's a big thatched cottage, everybody, in Suffolk, and it is grade 1 listed, the maximum listing. It was built in the 1500s. I've been underselling how old it is. 1500s this thing was built, I was told by
Old
them.
as fuck.
And everything they're fixing it up with is old style. So like the walls is something called wattle and daubing.
Yeah,
which is basically long, thin sticks of wood with like manure / mud caked. So it's crazy. Even though it's listed, they can still do some stuff. And in like the 70s or whatever, this really low ceiling had been put in their bedroom to the extent that you wouldn't have been able to stand up in it comfortably. You wouldn't have been able to jump in it, right? And they knocked it out.
I like jumping.
Yeah, exactly. And this room was tiny. It was depressing. It was compressing. You go in it and you just feel a bit small. They knocked that roof out. Suddenly, their bedroom is massive. It goes all the way up to the top of the thatch. And you look at it thinking, holy shit, there's so much potential in here. And before, there was no potential. And it just goes to show that with a house like that, the smallest things that you can do, because some knobhead in the 70s thought, let's put a manky ceiling up here. That'll be nice. Just completely opens it up and makes it beautiful. So I'm really happy for them. They've completely just reinvigorated their bedroom
It's pretty big
experience.
that they were, even though that was put in later, it's pretty good of the council to be like, yeah, you're allowed to do that. Because at my parents' house, which is grade 1 as well, they couldn't put in a sky dish. Like,
God,
they're
really?
not allowed because you have to like obviously drill like through the wall. And I was like, no, you can't do it. And like, but then they had to replace the thatch relative like in the last like 2 years. And the council, despite the fact that they put on so many restrictions of what you can do to your house, don't help out with that. Yep. And so I think it cost them about £50,000.
Yeah, it's mental.
Which is to have, and the man was there doing it for I think 8 months to redo the roof. Yeah, it's 8 months I think. Well, they literally had scaffolding around the house for 8 months.
Fucking hell.
Then it looked sick for a year, but now it just looks old again. It's like, fucking hell. But yeah. So everybody, to take away from this episode, get a soundbar and don't move to full because you'll ruin their perfect number of 888 residents.
True. Yeah, let's hope they can't have any kids.
Otherwise, team, make sure you have a good one, and we will see you in episode 51 of the Subpar Poddy here. Remember, have a little look at our Patreon, because if you would like to have a bespoke, fuck off, then make sure that you get over there. It's $1 minimum a month, and you get to listen to podcasts early, so lots and lots of benefits.
It's $1.20.
All right. Bye, everyone.